So, got TWOSUN. It's in this box. That's a good spinner right there. You can't stop it. You got to let it stop on its own. All right. Let's get it out of here. Check it in. Check it out. Okay. So, I don't know the model number of this one offhand, but I do know that there's also a titanium version of this one that, man, I've been chasing. And while I was chasing it, I found this version. And so I bought it. And then, let me think now. I think, give me a second. Let's get this out. But I think I won the titanium version, and it's coming. So that'll be in a separate video, but I'll clarify that when I check price and availability on this one. I'll check my inventory and see if I actually have this knife. Let's get this one cleaned up and then see if I can't get the number, which you already know the number. That's why I don't freak out about these numbers, because it's in the description. So when you're watching the video, like I'm sitting here going, I don't know what model it is. And y'all are sitting there going, it's a 322. Like you already know. You're looking at it. I don't have the advantage of that yet. Yeah, okay. Well, let's get in here. Let's take a look. Got a piece of cut paper there. The knife is smaller than I thought it was, so that's a bonus. Nice jimping on this flipper. Oh, come on now. Wow. Yeah, I'm definitely going to check and see if I have the titanium version coming, because now the size of this knife, yeah, this was a sleeper. I had no idea this thing was this. Now the detent on this lock bar is super tight, and I'm pretty sure that's what's causing that action to function the way that it is. The drop action is because that lock bar is really tight on this. And man, does that thing snap out of there. And I can check it right here. Yeah, so the blade is completely free. And so all this tension right here, there's a ton of tension, and it's all because this lock bar is so tight. So I'm pretty confident I can loosen that up a little bit and probably improve this action. How much lockup do we have? Maybe 30%. Looks like we got some room there. Boy, that does snap out of there, though. Whew. I mean, and with the jimping, it's sharp jimping. It's good jimping. That thing comes out of there, man. Yeah, this thing right here. Wow. Hey, let's get in it. Check it in. And then we'll finish checking it out. No Loctite. Come off pretty easy. Not sure that the whole pocket clip's got to come off, but what the heck. Probably want to get under those scales anyways. Make sure I don't have oil there. Got this mid screw holding the scale on, which what this tells me is there's going to be screws in here somewhere that are part of the structure. Yeah, there's two of them back here holding it together. That don't need to come out of there. Let's get these. Which, you know, speaking of the, yeah, pretty sure I could take these two screws off and that knife will stay together. Now, I took the pivot screw out, so if I'd have left that pivot screw in, well, I couldn't have done that because then the other scale wouldn't have come off. Pivot screw had to come off. And I'd have to completely take the pivot screw to get this scale off. Yeah, I don't know what I'm thinking. All right, let's just finish taking it apart. How about I'm thinking that? Goober. Man, did I just talk a whole bunch of smack there or what? I was just covering all kinds of ground. Okay, a little bit of oil. Definitely wipe all this down. I mean, consistently right now, I'm not seeing the dirt in these knives anymore. I mean, they are doing a really good job of cleaning all that up. And just a little over-oiled, which, I mean, you know, we've talked about it. Rather have them over-oil it than under-oil it. And, yeah. Ooh, got a bunch of stuff. I have zoomed in on my reviews a little bit, and I mentioned it in another video, but I don't know if you can notice it, but a little tighter shot on everything. Did I even talk about what this knife is? I don't think I did. I mentioned that y'all knew and I didn't know, but I never got back to that. It's a TS102, and this one's in N690. Yeah. And I mean, this is another little sleeper for me. I've had a couple recently, just out of the blue, checking in, opening boxes and checking in knives, and then, I mean, I know that I bought it, you know what I mean, but pleasantly surprised by what I'm finding. Yeah. I mean, it's kind of preliminary. There's still some stuff going on here that I gotta get to. But I mean, so far, looking at this thing, I mean, and I think one of the things that really turned me off to it is this micarta. I'm just not a big fan of this micarta. It tends to be really slick. Now, this has got some texture in it. It's got a little texture in it. It's kind of polished, but like, I don't know if you could see, but even right here in this band, it's not as polished, and I'd rather have it that way. And so because of that, that area is rough. Is it the same on this other scale? It is. So in the center, it's not polished, and it's providing grip. And so I may spend a little more time on this kind of micarta and see if I can't figure out how to just scuff that up. I don't know if it's like a Scotch-Brite pad or some 600 grit sandpaper. You know, I'm not sure, but I like it if it's not shiny and slick. You know, I want it to be grippy. So I think that's my complaint with it, is that it doesn't provide. It's, you know what? It's in the same category as anodized titanium. I am quickly becoming not a fan of that. Now, Colin has done a few knives for me, and in those knives, he's using a flat anodization, and it's super grippy. He combines it with some polished anodizing elements, but the flat stuff is chalky and grippy, and so I dig it. But that highly polished stuff, it doesn't register for me on a knife, because it's like, well, great, now my knife is like super slick. That's not what I want in a knife. Anyways, let's get this thing back together. I am bouncing around like a pinball. I am going to check and see. I can't put that on yet. Ugh, goof. I am going to check and see if I did in fact buy the, I think I got to take that off. I was going to try to be slick. Why, I don't know. I am going to check and see if I did, in fact, buy one of the titanium versions. And like most of the versions that I want that I haven't bought or I didn't buy, is because the price was just so high. I was like, I'm not paying that. You know, like everybody that's in the auction is willing to pay way more than me. And I'm watching the price on that thing up, you know, hover around, you know, $100+ 90, 85, 90, $100. And it's like, yeah, I'm not going to get down on it like that. But I get it. Okay, it's pin in the backspacer. I was just thinking to myself, well, why is that pin there? But it's to pin that backspacer. And as you all know, shouldn't they do that with all of them, man? Just pin one in there so that we don't have blade contact in the back. I have actually thought to myself, I just need to start milling backspacers. Like, but then I question, is there enough TWOSUN owners and other knives that need them that I can make it financially rewarding? You know, because I don't want to just do something like that to do it, because you'd need a CNC machine or a digital printer. I guess you could use a digital printer to do something like that, but I don't know nothing about that. But yeah, just create backspacers. Like take the backspacer that's in a lot of these knives, they're this long, and just extend this piece on, print them in a 3D printer, even if they were plastic. Boom, put them in there, and now the knife is safe, right? All right. I say all right, but I want to put a dab on there, and then I'm going to take some off of this detent. I forgot about that. So I'm getting my reference point here between this, and I'm going to bend that a little. Yep, a little, not a lot. And then this is captured in this other scale. There we go. Okay. Wasn't a lot of resistance there. Resistance is futile. You will be assimilated. All right. I'm like letting the nerd out, man. Like, you already know. Goober. Those go under the scale, man. Come on. Pay attention. I'm so broke I can't even pay attention. Mentally broke. Mentally bankrupt. Why is that not going in? It's got to be the wrong screw. It's turning in there, isn't it? That screw's turning on the other side. There it goes. Keep going. Catch. Oh, got it. Thank you. All right. Next one. Got that one too. Okay. Let's go back where we were now. That didn't hurt too much. It was kind of painless, actually. Just a little misstep. Man, it's so much nicer to have brand new bits. Man, it's a small thing, but those, when they're new, they just bite well and everything runs better. So this pocket clip's got pretty good profile on it. Straight lines, 2 screws. Even though it's in that micarta, it's in pretty good shape. I'm not going to complain about it. I think it'll hold fine. As long as it stays tight, it should be okay. What kind of tension's that got? Yeah, it's got pretty good tension. I think we'll run it before I go trying to adjust it or make changes to it. Okay. Yeah, it's got pretty good tension. Let's check that action. I didn't really gain any. Still really snappy. Wonder if I'm too tight here. I mean, I could have been. Tight, tight. I mean, so the question is, do I take more off of that? I mean, I didn't take a lot. The action is improved. It's still all about that detent pressure that's messing with this knife. I mean, the lockup still looks to be the same. Where's our time? All right, I'm going to take just a little off, but I'm going to pause. Okay, so just wrapping up, putting this pocket clip back on. Get it tight, and then we will check that. I took a little more off of it, very small increment, just to see what's up. Here we go. All right, still snappy. Oh, yeah, way better. And still snappy. Yeah, one little shake and we're down now. It's not fall shut, but with that light, the blade's light, so I don't think it'll ever be fall shut. But can't fail it. Yeah, wonderful. Definite improvement. Let's check how tight are we here. Yeah, one little shake and got her shut down. Very nice. Okay. Well, let's finish checking it in. I am encouraged that this micarta doesn't have to be polished and it can be roughed up there, I think clearly they did that intentionally because it's the same. It's that top ridge on both scales. And I think they sanded it or roughed it up. But I think definitely I can go at these and do the whole thing. Matter of fact, I have an idea. I'm going to try something before. So here's what I did. I got my little steel gun brush here. This is the one that I have on this knife bench. I have a gun bench, but this is, ow. Ooh, poked my finger. And it has roughed this scale up enough that it has made quite the difference on the grip. And now the knife is much more grippy just by roughing that up. And so I don't know if that's the perfect way to do it, but I do know this. I'm convinced now that if I just rough up that polish, like I think that's polished, like they polish it. And so if I just rough it up, I can make the knife way more grippy. So by doing that, I can tell you I'm not near as fearful of taking a run at a knife that's got this micarta on it. Because typically if I see that micarta, I'm not interested. Just because the grip on that stuff is so poor. But yeah, just scuffing it up seems to have helped a bunch. Yeah, so the action on this thing, B minus. It's not great. I don't know that it's a design flaw necessarily, because the blade is so light that that's what's causing this. It's incredibly light blade. And so it's to be expected. With that in consideration, I think the action's running pretty darn good on this knife. Ergonomics. So this is a wonderfully confident grip. So not very confident, confident, very confident. This is a confident grip. This thing's above this confident mark. If I was to meet, this is super pokey, like needle pokey, right? Yeah, needle pokey. And this cutout and this aggressive jimping that goes just over the top of the flipper tab has me, and then the tapered shape. I'm just saying, the grip that I have here, if I met resistance with this knife, I push through. Yeah, like it's not going to break my grip. This has, I'm not going to say completely very confident, but man, it's definitely overconfident and headed towards very confident. It's a wonderful grip in hand. Now, the harder I grip it, I am noticing this pocket clip back here, but it's not hot like got to break my grip. Like I can hold this white knuckle. See my knuckles turn white? Like I can really grip this knife, and this, I notice it here, but it's not unbearable. Yeah, so speaking of that pocket clip, let's see how it works. I already know. It's that budget, inexpensive pocket clip that's perfect. It's pocket clip perfection. Yeah, it's going to get over the thick stuff and go all the way. Boop, completely deep carry, nice profile. Yeah, and this hole allows you to get a finger on it, and that's where you pull, so you got a grip. Excellent tension on this. Like, this is a dryer pocket clip. Throw these pants in the dryer, leave your knife in there. When you take it out after all that tumbling, that knife's going to be right there. And so what's the point of that? Well, what that means is that if I go tumbling around on the ground for whatever reason, and I need to access this knife, it's going to be right where I think it is. Like, I know that I carry here. So if I'm looking for this knife, I'm reaching back. Me personally, I'm reaching back looking for my knife, and it's going to be right where I think it is. That's where this knife's going to be. It's not coming loose from there. Now, is there the 1 in 1,000 or 1 in 1,000,000 or the lightning strike where something caught it and moved it? Yeah, but very confident that it's going to be where I left it. What about safety? Yeah, full backspacer that's pinned. Perfect. I mean, come on, man. That's the way that should be. What about that tip? Man. Dun, dun, dun. Yeah, so I can get that tip, and it is a needle. So if this was down in my front pocket and I reached behind it and happened to go here instead of here or whatever, if you went on the side of this, if I went on the side of this, I'm catching that tip all day long. Yep. So the clip is good, the tip is a fail, and the backspacer is good. And I am not confident that I could put this knife in my pocket and not cut myself because of this tip right here. Yeah, I'm not confident of that. Like there's a chance that not paying attention, just reach in my pocket for change or keys or, hey, it's $3.52. It's like I got 2 quarters and reach in my pocket and hit that right there. And man, that could be ugly. I slice my finger wide open with that. Now, can that be fixed by profiling that blade? Maybe. But as the knife sits right now, I can contact that tip. I wonder if it's sharp. I know it's needle sharp. Yeah. And it's pretty sharp. I think it needs to be stropped. So let's hit it. Thin, flat grind, slicey. Whew. Wicked self-defense blade. I mean, I wouldn't have thought it necessarily looking at this knife, but this is, in my opinion, 100% a self-defense capable knife. Yeah, if I had to bring this knife to bear to defend myself, I'd be pretty confident that I could get it done with this knife right here. Yeah, just had a burr. Wicked sharp, crazy sharp. So let me clarify. When I say I'm confident that if I had to bring this to bear, here's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about hands being brought to bear on me, and I'm defending myself with a blade. Now, I mean, the absolute worst case scenario is I'm defending myself against another blade. But to be honest, if that's the scenario, I mean, I can tell you with all my being, I don't want to be in a knife on a knife fight. That's the last place I want to be, man. I do not want to be in a knife on a knife fight. Now, if somebody's bringing their hands to bear on me, I'm totally okay with me bringing a knife to a fist fight. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. If I'm going to defend myself against somebody's hands, I would be very happy to have this in my pocket and to let it be known that this is how I'm going to defend myself. Yeah, and this is a good one, man. Definitely self-defense capabilities here. So TS102 N690 steel, price and availability. Okay, so this one is not available on eBay. I didn't see any auctions running for the micarta version. I did, however, see auctions running for the titanium version. The interesting thing about the titanium version is the titanium version has the same N690 steel. It just has titanium scales and a titanium pocket clip with a big ceramic ball in it. So it's got some differences, but luckily for me, I do see where I bought one of the titanium ones as well. So it could be over here in the stack, or I'm just waiting for it to arrive. I didn't check delivery status, so I don't know if I have it or not. But I can tell you I really like this knife. So price. So here's the thing about this one, this micarta version, is it's available on White Mountain Knives. They have it listed for $45, which if you take the 25% off, puts you down below $34. You're at $33 and some change. And I got to be honest, this thing, to me, now it's a small knife. This is not a big knife. But I can get a full four-fingered confident grip with this knife. And for $33, this is a buy. I'm just saying. 100% for me it is. This is a buy at $33. As a matter of fact, I paid $35 for this one in a live auction. And I don't feel slighted at all, even though if I'd have just been patient, I could have bought it on White Mountain Knives, because I'm pretty sure when I bought this, they didn't have the 15% off. So I'd have just got the 10% off, which would have put it at like 41. So the 35 I paid was a deal. But now they have this knife in stock, and you can pick it up right now for 33 bucks. Come on, man. Hey, I appreciate y'all watching, and I mean, go check it out.